Hello guys, it's me, the Quest of Anime here, and today we are doing, and finally, after a month of delay, we're doing monthly character analysis. But we're not going to do one this time, we're going to do two. We missed June due to me having a lack of understanding of Miku and Itsuki, and after watching all of Season 1, which I didn't get enough time to watch Season 2, we are going to be talking about Miku and Itsuki. But this week is Miku and next week is Itsuki. We're going to do both of them this week. I'm determined about that. But I love this series. This is one of my favorite series that I've ever done, even though there's only two. And yeah, I'm determined to make this series one of my best. Alright. So for the life of me, when it came to Miku, I really couldn't understand why she was so popular and why so many people liked her, right? And after, let's just say, me rewatching the anime for my second time, because it's not my first time rewatching it. I rewatched it for season 2, and this is my second rewatch to get more, do a character analysis. I kind of now understand why you guys like her so much. Now, I'm not talking about why you guys like her. If I'm ever going to do that, then it's not going to be part of my opinion. It'll just be me researching why you guys like her. And, like making it into a video. I'm going to be talking about what I like about her. So for this, I am going to talk about her relationship with the MC and what made her fall in love with him. Because I think it's a pretty amazing character development for her. Now, I have so much information, and I should have figured since I'm watching 12 episodes, so I have enough to make it part 2. But in part 1, we're talking about when she fell in love with him and why. Part 2, I'm going to be talking about the development of it. But yeah, let's get started, guys. You see, when it came to episode 1 or 2, if you guys rewatched that of season 1, then you would notice that she started off very cold and distant when it came to her and Fuutarou. I honestly, when I first watched it, I literally thought she might have been one of the hardest girls to get on her side, but little did I know it was going to be one of the easiest. Well, not the easiest. This episode was well done when it came to strengthening their bond. But yeah. Like I said, she's a very closed and distant person, and I would say if episode 2 didn't happen to that extent, then it would take much longer for her to be by his side. Because episode 2 was like a massive character development, and I gotta say, it was a good one. So let's talk about it. So I would say it all started when Fuutarou wanted to test out all of the quintuplets skills or academic skills in academics. So he gave them a test, right? It's like an all subject test. And let's just say they all dunked it, they all flunked it, as I like to call it. And he was like very surprised how badly they flunked it. And after 1 or 2 days, he wanted to test if they actually literally remember any of the questions. So he asked about question 1, right? And everyone kind of ran because they didn't know the answer. But then he took a look at his sheet that he made, and Miku did know that answer, but she chose not to answer it, which was very confusing to him. Then he gets kind of a letter. It's from Miku saying to meet on the rooftop, right? And when he met on the rooftop, Miku actually gave him the answer. Now he knew that if she left the rooftop, then he would lose an opportunity to get her on his side. So he tried to get her keep her there, but accidentally dropped her phone. In which she noticed a Sugeku symbol, I think that's what they're called. And when noticing that, Miku confessed that she's really in love with Sugeku warlords. And heck, I'd say by that time she was she had a lot of love for them. But she decided not to not to mention anything about this because when it comes to her classmates and family, well, mostly classmates, they're into these days beauty, makeup, and whatnot, while she's into old men, which was the fear of what people would think if she passionately talked about Sugeku warlords. She closed off her passion. She never really talked about it with her family or you know friends in school. That changed when that changed in this moment. You see, now Fuutarou knows about that she likes warlords, and he thought of that as the perfect opportunity to get her to want to let him tutor her. If he can prove to her that she what's it called can learn something about warlords from him, then she would most definitely be on his side. And let's just say it didn't go too according to plan. She asked a question, right? The first question he was able to answer easily, but the second question, he actually kind of struggled. It took him a bit to think about it. If it wasn't for his teacher's facial features, then he would not have got that question right. That shows that he was kind of struggling on it. And to make matters worse, she was very sneaky. She quote unquote accepted him, and when she gave him a soda, she put like a snot reference. She mentioned a snot reference, which is a reference about like one of the history thingies. And he couldn't answer that. He didn't know what it was. Now I want you to comprehend this. He didn't know. He literally is the top ranking in the school. He literally, what's it call it? He literally very knowledgeable, pretty prideful about his knowledge and confident that he can teach these. But he didn't know the answer to that question. Miku knew about it. Miku beat him in knowledge. Now I want you to comprehend, that literally was the only time someone ever beat him in knowledge like that. And I find that very incredible to think about. And I also want you guys to note that she literally is what's called Yotsuba stream, I think, the most smartest out of the group. So let's talk about it. So the events leading up to it, I think, was the very start of what made her fall in love with him. So you see, was the fact that he was not able to answer that question. He was very determined to figure it out and be her quote unquote equal. So what he did, he literally borrowed every book about the Sugeku warlords, and for 2 hours was studying about them, so he can actually be on par with her knowledge of warlords, or even better. So after the next day, after a lot of running and whatnot, right? Because she was trying to run away from him. How to say? He literally managed to prove himself that he was very knowledgeable about warlords. Before we talk about that, I want you to note something that also helped in the effort of her falling in love with him. She's very self-conscious and have a very high self-esteem, and she got an inferiority complex. She believes that out of the 5 of them, she's a loser. She literally said that. I didn't say that. And this was her thinking. Her thinking was this. Whatever she can do, she believes that all the rest of them could do. So basically, her efforts can basically be mirrored by any of her sisters. And Fuutarou changed her perspective about it. This is what he mentioned to her after thinking about it. If they can do whatever she can do, then she can do whatever they can do. You see, I'll explain that a little more in detail. So, episode 11 of Quintessential, Miku and Fuutarou were in the camping trip, was running away from what's her face, Yotsuba. Miku was mentioning, man, she needs a handicap because she has limited stamina, right? And this is what you Fuutarou mentioned. He mentioned that she doesn't that he thinks what's it called, giving her a handicap is disrespectful because you see they're twins, and mostly twins are basically built the same by birth. You know what I mean? If they're any different, they put the effort to be different. For example, what that means is like Yotsuba, she put a lot of time and effort into being the fastest, you know? She worked hard to be athletic. And giving her a handicap is like disrespecting her efforts, you know? It's okay to be different. You shouldn't always be the same. You know what I mean? But what's it called? Respect the effort that they put in. You know what I mean? Which I gotta admit, when I heard that quote, I'm like, damn, I actually totally see that. You're built this, you're twins, right? You look the same and you're physically the same, you know? The effort is what makes you different. You see that alone, right? And the one where she's talking about and his determination and confidence that he's able to teach all five of them with a smile in their faces gave Miku the respect and love for him. You see, he believes that what's it called, by looking at the questions they answered, they all managed to correctly answer different questions. You know what I mean? They're skilled in different aspects of what's called of different subjects. You know what I mean? With enough time and effort, he believes that he will be able to teach them, and that resonated with Miku. And yeah, and throughout the series, she takes the time to she kind of tries to implement the new way of thinking that Fuutarou put on her, saying that if they can if they can do it, then you can do it as well. And yeah, so that's for part one. Part two, I'm gonna do it probably in August. But yeah, I really like Miku. I can't believe I missed that development of hers. And yeah, so I'm gonna watch season two for Itsuki because I really have nothing for Itsuki even after season one. Because the minutes for Itsuki kind of looks the same. So I want to see if season two can help me change that. And while season two also has some Miku development, although it's slim. So yeah, I'm gonna combine that and the rest of the things I have for Miku into a part two. But thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys then.